Today, Precarious plays
Phantom Brave. I've been thinking about the moves in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool how many there are. And this might be rude to assume. They do seem like they were fairly... I feel like maybe the labor was low on implementing each individual one.
Mm-hmm.
Which probably is the reason why there were so many. But I wonder if... what could that have been used for instead, right? What if there were half as many items and moves? Like item categories.
Mm-hmm.
What could they have added in place of that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I kind of wish that... This is weird to say. I kind of wish that I could skip to the end of this in the sense that I wish that we had already played through this together.
Yeah.
And I was just like rewatching us play it. Specifically the story bits, right?
Yeah. Why?
Well, I've kind of got the game down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if at any point it gets away from me, it's just gonna be like a couple hours of grinding to fix it. So, I'm getting pretty close to that point where it's like, I think that in the Steam version of Final Fantasy IX, there are a number of features that are in the official Steam version without mods or anything, right?
Yeah.
There are a number of features that are included that are inspired by emulators.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a button that I think you have to go into a menu and then you can just turn all of your stats up. Like you can just max out all of your stats. If you just want to play it for the story.
Well...
There's a feature that I am much more on board with.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can hold down a button and increase the playback of the game.
Ah.
That it's funny that is in there just because that is a feature that is not a part of a re-release or anything that's just core to Bravely Default. Phantom Bravely Default. That's where
Mashups.
that's where my head was going. Yeah. So I think that after a certain point in Final Fantasy IX, when I tried to play it on Steam, I did get to a level of been there, done that, right?
Yeah.
Once I felt like I had it under control and there wasn't more game to see, I did find myself like thinking more and more about turning some of those like all monsters die in one hit or whatever it was, whatever easing, whatever mechanical get out of jail free element there was. But then I thought about it, and it's like, no, there's an area that's interesting that's coming up, that there's a late game area in Final Fantasy IX where weapon power of your equipped weapon reduces your effective damage output instead of increasing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a situation where it's like, hey, did you remember to save a set of the starting equipment or something close to that? And if the
Yeah.
answer is no, you're going to be in for a rough time until I think you can find some low-level copies of equipment in the dungeon. But it's not like a guaranteed thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to that point.
In this game?
Yeah, in this game where I just sort of... I have considered a few times. I think probably like the next time I lose, I might just say, okay, I feel like we've...
Explored all of the mechanics to talk about, so we're just gonna do like a summary.
Well, not even that. I still have to put some thought into the moves that I make.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I were to say, whoops, I broke my whole arm, you need to play now, you would probably have to look at this for a long time before you decided what move to make, right? Which
Right,
is
yeah.
completely reasonable. If I were to go into a couple of failure dungeons and power level Morona, Ash, probably the healer, maybe Tex, just like 5 people. If I were to power level like 5 people to level 100, 120, I could just, all of these maps could be over in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Each one could just be done.
I just thought of something really scary.
What?
It has nothing to do with you getting to the point in the game where you could probably just hit forward after leveling for a while.
Yeah.
What if Morona's best friend dies and then comes back as one of Morona's phantoms?
Well, I mean, that's probably the destiny of all of her friends, isn't it? But isn't that kind of nice in a way?
It is. It would be kind of sad.
Well, there's something... So, to become a phantom, I think that Morona... No. I think someone with Chartreuse Gale has to be there and invoke their power. Because that's why Ash is a phantom. It's because Morona's dad did that as he was dying, right?
Okay.
Because it doesn't seem... There's probably some in-universe thing where it's like, if you're left with a lingering will, like that's one way to become a phantom.
Wouldn't it be kind of creepy if Morona... Oh, no, that's messed up.
I already have the most creepiness from the Another Morona story.
Yeah.
That would bake your tootsies. I don't know. I've in the past few weeks I remember saying like bake your gourd or you'd really ice your strudel is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you, and I don't know if we're gonna play it on the show. I'll tell you privately once we're done with this game.
What if Morona killed her best friend so that she could use her in battle?
Oh, wouldn't have to, probably. No, I could see a scenario where if Histeel got sick enough,
Yeah, then she'd be like...
they might devise that plan together, which
Yeah.
would be that would be dark.
It would be dark,
But because of
kind
the-
of sweet, right?
Because of the tone of the game, they'd probably put the sad piano track over it. And Morona would look away as Ash actually did the hardest thing to do in that scenario.
Yeah.
And Castile, because of the way this game seems to work, I mean, there's definitely like a life after death, so I think that you're making it worse than it would actually be.
Yeah, well, in universe it would not be so bad. It would be actually kind of nice, maybe.
Weaklings!
But yeah.
You can't drive them away! You're going to lose your environment! Why are you looking at me like that? What are you... I'm doing this for you guys!
This guy needs to calm down. This guy needs to quit proving my point. He's making the conservationists look bad, okay? I don't appreciate him.
Deeper into the island, no.